Are you tired of feeling stuck in your English learning journey? Do you hit a wall when you don't understand every single word or phrase, making you want to give up? What if I told you that the secret to truly improving your comprehension isn't about understanding everything, but quite the opposite? Stay tuned, because this one mindset shift will revolutionize your English learning and unlock a new level of fluency you never thought possible. Welcome to English Journey, the channel dedicated to helping you grow personally while mastering English. I'm Celine, and today we're diving deep into a topic that might seem counterintuitive at first. To improve comprehension, don't try to understand. Before we jump into this transformative story, please take a moment to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Your support helps us create more valuable content for you. Also, stick around until the end for a recap of our key takeaways and a short quiz to test your understanding. You won't want to miss it. The mowing metaphor, a fresh approach to English comprehension. Imagine a vast, overgrown lawn. The grass is tall, thick, and almost impossible to walk through. Now, imagine you have a lawnmower, and your goal is to mow this entire lawn perfectly in one go. What happens? You'd struggle, the mower would get bogged down, and you might not even finish a small section. It would be hard work, and you'd likely get frustrated and give up. This overgrown lawn is often how we approach English comprehension. We see a challenging text or hear a fast conversation, and we try to understand every single word, every nuance, right from the start. We push ourselves to nail down what we're studying, seeking 100% comprehension. But just like trying to mow that high grass in one pass, this approach often leads to frustration, slow progress, and ultimately, a sense of failure. But what if there was another way? My brother, who's learning a new language, shared a brilliant insight with me. He said, "It's a bit like mowing a lawn. If the grass is high, you have to set the lawnmower at a higher level in order to have an easier first pass through mowing the lawn." Think about that. Instead of trying to cut the grass perfectly short in one go, you make a first pass at a higher setting. You don't get every blade, but you reduce the resistance. Then, on your second pass, you can lower the blades a little more, picking up what you missed. And perhaps a third pass, getting even more. Each pass makes the next one easier, and gradually, you achieve a perfectly mown lawn. This isn't just about lawns. It's a profound metaphor for language learning. When you encounter new English material, whether it's a podcast, a book, or a conversation, don't try to understand everything the first time. Accept that you might only grasp 40% or percent of it. And that's perfectly okay. This is your first pass with the lawnmower set high. You're just getting a general sense, reducing the initial resistance. This concept is crucial because our brains need both repetition and novelty. If you force yourself to perfectly understand every sentence the first time, you get stuck. You're not allowing the language to simply enter your brain and let your brain get used to it over time. A powerful secret revealed. The most experienced language learners embrace this uncertainty. They accept that they won't fully understand everything, and yet they keep going. This seemingly simple shift in perspective is the secret to unlocking true comprehension. Are you ready to embrace it? Embracing uncertainty, the power of repeated exposure. So, how do we apply this lawnmower approach to English? 1. Embrace the unknown and keep going. When you're listening to an English podcast or reading an article and you encounter words or phrases you don't know, don't stop. Don't hit pause every few seconds to look up every single word. Keep going. Allow the language to wash over you. Your brain is incredibly powerful, and even if you don't consciously understand every word, it's still absorbing patterns, rhythms, and context. This is your first high-level pass. You're not trying to nail things down, but rather allowing the language to enter your brain. Think of it like this. If you spend too much time trying to fully understand every detail on the first pass, it becomes a major obstacle to true comprehension. It's like trying to push your lawnmower through impossibly high grass. You just won't get the job done effectively. 2. Prioritize consumption over perfection. Your main goal, especially in the early stages, is to consume as much English as possible. Listen to audio, read books, watch movies. The more you expose yourself to the language, the more familiar your brain becomes with it. This constant exposure, even without perfect understanding, builds your prior knowledge and allows you to anticipate what's coming. I remember a time I was in St. Petersburg, Russia, after studying Russian for 4 years. I could understand audiobooks and political discussions, but when I went to buy a train ticket, the lady at the counter said something, and I just didn't get it. I had to ask her to repeat herself. Why? Because even with good general comprehension, specific, real-world situations often present new contexts that require prior experience to fully grasp. The second or third time you encounter a similar situation, it becomes much easier because you can anticipate what might be said. Another powerful insight. Research has shown that teaching lists of vocabulary words that a learner is about to encounter is not as effective as having content that the reader or listener is already familiar with. This means choosing content you genuinely enjoy and have some background knowledge about. If you love cooking, listen to cooking podcasts. If you're interested in technology, read tech articles. When you're engaged with the content, your brain is more receptive to learning new words and phrases within that familiar context. This is why choosing content that you want to learn about, content you like, is so important. Still not convinced? Here's why this is so powerful. When you constantly try to understand every single word, you're constantly interrupting the flow of the language. Every time you hit an unknown word, it's like a roadblock, slowing you down and making you lose momentum. But if you accept that you won't get everything, you maintain that crucial momentum, allowing the overall meaning to flow into your brain more easily. Diving deeper, tips for improving reading and listening comprehension. Now let's get into some specific strategies for improving your reading and listening comprehension, building on the foundation of not trying to understand everything. Boosting your reading comprehension. Reading comprehension is crucial, and the faster you can read and understand, the more information you can acquire. 1. Read a lot and read varied difficulty. The more you read, the better you get at it, and the more vocabulary you acquire. It's a virtuous circle. Don't just stick to easy material. Vary your reading by including challenging texts with new words alongside easier texts with mostly familiar words. This balance helps you continuously grow your vocabulary without getting overwhelmed. I find that around 10 to 15% unknown words is a sweet spot for active vocabulary acquisition while maintaining fluency. 2. Combine reading with listening. This is a super powerful technique. If you can listen to something first, you get a general idea of the content, the intonation, and a sense of momentum before you even start reading. Then, when you read, it feels much easier because your brain has already been primed. This is especially helpful for languages with different structures or scripts, like Arabic or Japanese, where the audio can provide crucial cues that might be missing from just the text. Many language learning apps, like LinkQ, allow you to read and listen simultaneously. 3. Focus on the overall meaning, not every word. Remember the lawnmower. don't stop at every unknown word. If you're using an online dictionary or a tool like LinkU, you can quickly look up words without breaking your flow too much. But the key is to keep going and allow the meaning to flow into your brain without having to translate every single word into your native language. This builds reading fluency. 4. Narrow your subject matter initially. To maximize exposure to new vocabulary in different contexts, try to stick to a narrower range of subject matter when consuming content. For example, if you're interested in politics, listen to and read political podcasts and articles from various sources. This increases the probability of encountering the same vocabulary repeatedly, building familiarity and prior knowledge. Switching topics too frequently can make it much harder. Sharpening your listening comprehension. Listening comprehension is often considered the fundamental goal in language learning. If you can understand what people are saying, you can eventually hold your end of the conversation. 1. Expose yourself to diverse accents and situations. The world of English speakers is vast, with many different accents and ways of pronouncing things. To truly improve, you need to expose yourself to as many different accents, situations, and contexts as possible. This helps your brain become familiar with the variations in pronunciation, like how some Spanish speakers might pronounce D as a V sound after a vowel. 2. Anticipate what's coming through context. As mentioned with my train ticket story, experiencing situations multiple times helps you anticipate what people might say. If you don't understand something, don't criticize yourself. Instead, see it as an opportunity to learn for next time. The more you expose yourself to specific contexts, whether through Netflix series or real conversations, the more familiar you become with the vocabulary and phrases used in those situations. 3. Don't be afraid to ask for repetition. In real-life conversations, if you don't understand, it's perfectly fine to ask the person to repeat what they said. This is a natural part of communication and a valuable learning opportunity. 4. Listen at normal or even faster speed. While it might seem counterintuitive, trying to listen to material at normal speed or even slightly faster can be beneficial. This pushes your brain to process information more quickly. Sometimes, listening too slowly can make you lose track of the beginning of a sentence by the time you reach the end. Faster listening can give you almost a bird's eye view of the content, improving your overall comprehension. The Reification Revelation, Unpacking the Sounds of English. Now, let's talk about something incredibly fascinating, a linguistic secret that can truly supercharge your listening comprehension, and it's something not many people in language teaching talk about, reification. Have you ever learned a word, you know its meaning, you know how it's spelled, but then you hear a native speaker use it, and you can't for the life of you recognize it? It's like the words you know just don't fit together in a way that makes sense to your ear. This is often due to reification. What is reification? Simply put, it's how languages shuffle around where the syllables start and stop, and here's the kicker. They don't always respect word boundaries. This means that sounds from one word might blend with sounds from the next, changing how words you know actually sound when spoken naturally. For example, in Spanish, you might learn los and otros as two distinct words. But in natural speech, they often get reified into something that sounds more like los otros. If you're listening for los and otros, you might completely miss los otros because your ear isn't trained to expect that blending. This happens in English too, though perhaps less overtly than in some other languages. Think about phrases like, "Did you eat yet?" which can sound like jet in casual speech. While jet involves fast speech and casual reductions, reification is a related, equally important process. Another example is how we say divine versus divinity. The pronunciation of the I changes, and we don't say divinity with the same vowel sound. This is a result of phonological rules triggered by stress. The takeaway here is groundbreaking. Our brains, when listening to a language, are not just processing individual words. They're processing larger sound units that sometimes cross word boundaries. The grammar and meaning of words might be one thing, but how they actually sound when spoken naturally is another system entirely. So, how does knowing about reification help your comprehension? Simply knowing that it exists and being aware that words can blend and change their syllabic structure in natural speech seems to improve listening comprehension. It helps you anticipate these changes and train your ear to recognize words even when they don't sound exactly as they do in isolation. Instead of getting frustrated when words you know sound unfamiliar, you can now recognize that this is a normal linguistic process. You're not wrong for not understanding. You're just experiencing how spoken language naturally flows. This is why exposing yourself to a wide variety of English accents and contexts is so important. The more you listen, the more you'll encounter these reified sounds and develop an intuitive understanding of them. Practicing producing the right reification in your own speech can also accelerate your recognition of it. Recap takeaways. Let's quickly recap our key takeaways from today's discussion. 1. Embrace uncertainty. Don't try to understand every single word on the first pass. Accept 40% comprehension and keep going. This is like setting your lawnmower high for the first pass. 2. Prioritize consumption. The more you expose yourself to English, the more familiar your brain becomes with its patterns and rhythms. 3. The power of repetition and novelty. Your brain needs both. Repetition through multiple passes over material and novelty through encountering new material. 4. Context is king. Choose content you're familiar with and enjoy, as prior knowledge makes comprehension easier. 5. Reification awareness. Understand that spoken English often blends words and changes syllable structures. This knowledge alone can boost your listening comprehension. 6. Read and listen a lot. Consistent exposure is the ultimate key to improving both reading and listening comprehension and building vocabulary. 7. Combine reading and listening. Use audiobooks and integrated tools to get the momentum from listening before you read. 8. Vary difficulty and narrow focus. Read challenging material, but also easier texts, and try to stick to a general subject matter for increased vocabulary exposure. 9. Listen at normal speed. Challenge yourself to listen at natural speeds to train your brain for efficient processing. Quiz time. Here's a quick quiz to reinforce what we've learned. Think about these questions and feel free to share your answers in the comments below. Question 1. What is the lawnmower metaphor about, and how does it relate to improving English comprehension? Question 2. Why is it important to accept uncertainty and not try to understand everything on the first pass? Question 3. What is reification, and how does knowing about it help your listening comprehension? Question 4. Besides continuous reading and listening, what other factor is crucial for improving comprehension? Question 5. What percentage of unknown words is suggested as a sweet spot for reading material to gain vocabulary effectively? Take a moment to answer these questions in the comments. Your engagement helps others learn too. Conclusion. The path to improved English comprehension isn't about perfectly understanding every single word from day one. It's about embracing uncertainty, trusting the process, and consistently exposing yourself to the language. It's about making multiple passes over the material, allowing your brain to gradually get used to the language. If you keep moving forward, even when you don't understand everything, your comprehension will improve. And with good comprehension, your speaking skills will naturally follow. You are on an incredible English journey. Believe in yourself. Trust that every moment you spend consuming English, even imperfectly, is helping your brain get used to the language. Keep going and you will achieve your goals. Thank you for joining me on English Journey today. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more motivational and educational content. Until next time, happy learning.